mode.
All right.
Hey, my friends. This is Gary Norris. Are you there, Ken?
I'm here. Hey, Gary.
Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. You're all here. I was just letting you know you're live, ready to go.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I just want to give a big warm welcome to everyone that's watching the webinar tonight. And some of you have jumped on board at the last moment, which we're really grateful for that as well. I want to give a huge thank you to Ken Korse, who is the magic behind all the miracles that happen technology-wise. So I definitely will not take credit for anything that goes right or wrong. Well, if it goes right, I'll take the credit. If it goes wrong, Ken Korse at Strongbrook, you go complain there. No, thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, that's what I do. Throw people under the bus whenever I can, just to make me look good. No, I really do appreciate you guys being here, and again, thanks, Ken, for putting this together technology-wise. The reason you guys were invited to this webinar, you are currently Strongbrook MAP PSA holders, or at one point in time, you were a MAP PSA holder, but as you know, or hopefully you do know, once a MAP PSA holder, always a MAP PSA holder, whether or not you're paying your $99 a month, which many of you are doing. And for those of you that aren't, this webinar is for you also. We're just here to talk about some creative real estate investing things and teach you a few techniques in real estate that you can do whether or not you're using Strongbrook, and then share with you kind of some new things that Strongbrook is doing in the world of creative real estate investing strategies, and then pretty much give you an opportunity to come and play with us. Because you're a MAP PSA holder, we basically want to throw a whole bunch of free stuff at you to let you know that you are the reason this creative real estate community even came into existence, and we really invite you to come and play with us in a much bigger way than what you've been doing in the past. And you probably don't know what I'm talking about yet, so I want to get kind of right into the details. So real quickly, one thing is why Strongbrook and what's up with Limitless and Strongbrook? Why should you care? I don't know if you're familiar with the Limitless program. It seems to be in a lot of people's minds, what is this? Strongbrook used to be a big real estate company, and now they switched to this personal development stuff, and it seems like all they do is talk about this program called Limitless. I don't know if you've been to a Limitless event or if you've even heard of it. But what I do want you to know, and what is very important, is that real estate is still going strong within Strongbrook. It's going strong. There's, if I remember right, about 65% of the real estate homes that were purchased through Strongbrook clients in the last 12 months were repeat customers buying additional properties in the Done For You program. And that is a huge testament to the fact that things are really robust real estate-wise. They still are, and everything is still moving forward. Now, there's a new thing that Strongbrook has put together with the parent, I guess the other brand called Limitless, and that is what's called the Limitless Real Estate Community. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in detail. I just want to let you just kind of whet your appetite that it's all about done-for-you real estate. It's also about creative, do-it-yourself real estate, maybe not even using your money or your credit. And there's training, there's coaching, there's education that teaches you how to do it. And then the big picture is it's a community of like-minded investors. And right now this community is 167 people strong. So there's thousands of people that are part of Strongbrook. There's thousands of people that are part of Limitless. But there's 167 people that are part of the Limitless real estate community. Like-minded investors out to change the world with real estate and creating wealth and learning techniques and strategies that whether the company does it for you or you go learn how to do it yourself, you can tap into a community of like-minded investors. And that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. So maybe some of you don't know who I am. Who is Gary Norris? You know, I've been part of the Strongbrook family for going on 5 years now. I met them in 2011 when I was going through my own financial crash. I've been investing since 2001, and 10 years into my journey, I up and crashed. I had 13 homes at one time. Even though the market changed in '07 and really crashed in '07 and '08, I survived until 2010 into 11 when I ended up losing 3 homes of my own to foreclosure, barely avoided a bankruptcy, and almost got divorced. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, but I was able to survive the crash. I met Strongbrook. My mind was open to possibilities that I had not thought of before, even as an investor with 10 years of experience, maybe not all the right experience, education, or know-how. And I learned a lot through my bumps and bruises along the way, and had a whole lot of success along the way also. The investors that I've helped direct to Strongbrook have purchased well over 500 homes. I personally have done about 70 deals myself in the past decade. So I'm not here to say I'm like Chris Crone, who's bought hundreds and hundreds of properties. But, you know, I am a guy that's done 70-some deals. And these deals that I've done often have included partnering with other people to get them done. And my claim to, I'm not going to say fame, but my niche is creative real estate investing, not necessarily using my money or your money, but other people's money, and finding the deal and knowing how to put a deal together, either controlling or owning property, gaining an interest in property, and profiting from it while we create win-win situations. Also, yeah, I've got a radio show called the Real Estate Rebels Radio Show. Now it's called the Rebel Entrepreneur Radio Show. I've been doing that for several years. A lot of people know me and my wife Carolyn, and we are just big fans of entrepreneurship and real estate. So a little bit about me, big fan of Strongbrook. We've helped many people come find the family. I moved from Idaho Falls, Idaho to Orem, Utah 5 years ago myself because of Strongbrook, and still playing strong with them and loving every minute of it. So what I want to talk about briefly while you're here, and we know you have a MAP PSA, but a lot of the people that have a MAP PSA, they've been waiting for the opportunity that they can go from being just a MAP holder to really doing real estate and actually going out and doing deals. And sometimes they're just waiting for things to fall into place, like their credit or their income or their debt ratios, something. And I just want to take a minute and talk about mindset, just touch on it, to help you understand that, you know, literally your credit doesn't matter. Your income doesn't matter. Your job or lack of job doesn't matter. If you have the mindset of the wealthy, you could do real estate in any market. When I crashed and burned in 2011, I still was doing real estate deals. I just had not done a deal with my own neighbor, my own credit for 5 years, even though I crashed. My credit was affected because I lost 3 homes that I personally had owned for years. But I have done, of the 70 deals I've done, I've probably bought 15 of them with my own money. And so that's the mindset that it takes to do this. Is just a little tweak. You know, a lot of people say the employee mind, and we just want to get people to go from thinking like an employee to thinking like the wealthy. And you can read it on the screen, and it's kind of gone through it. I know as I've been talking, you've been able to see it. Just want to touch base on, you know, wealthy people, they define themselves by their assets and their cash flow, not like the employees. The employees define their wealth as what do they have with their possessions. And another thing I want to touch on is education. Yes, the employees, I love education. They value their education based on what degree they have. But the wealthy don't think that way. The wealthy, they value their education on what knowledge they have. And finally, you've heard of work harder, not smarter. Chris Crone often says if you want something done right, don't do it yourself. Well, the employee mindset really is I just got to work hard. I got to struggle. I've got to do everything. And a wealthy mindset is I want to build systems or tap into systems that already exist. That's my niche. I call myself the rebel entrepreneur for that very reason. I don't want to go create a system. When I found Strongbrook had this multi-million-dollar machine that did real estate for people, I plugged into that system. And I referred many people to it. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing it while I was still doing my own deals. And now I'm using other systems such as creative real estate investing strategies, and I'm offering you an opportunity to think like the wealthy and plug into some systems or some trainings that we're doing to teach people how to do real estate now even though you have a MAP PSA and you want Stromberg to do real estate for you in these other markets that they're involved in, you can do real estate now if you want to try to think more like the wealthy think. So real quickly, why invest in real estate? I love this acronym that you can see on the screen. I call it the ideal investment. Can you create income as a real estate investor? Of course, the answer is yes. Many types of income: mailbox money. You can flip a house, make 20 grand. You can rehab a house, make 50 grand. You can wholesale homes, put homes under contract, and then assign your contract to someone else and let someone else buy the home. And you can take a $3,000 fee, a $5,000, a $10,000. I have a friend that took at least a $70,000 fee to not even buy a house that he put under contract. He found it and made $70,000 by letting someone else buy it. And the person that he found that bought it still made $50,000 cash and peeled off a couple acres of that land and kept it for themselves. Win-win scenario. And even I was part of that deal, and I was a guy in the middle as a licensed real estate agent at the time, and I was able to find the buyer and my friend was a wholesaler, and I never listed the property. Just this friend of mine just had it under contract, and I found a buyer willing to buy him out and give him $70,000 in the process, and I received $10,000 as a finder. And you could do that as an investor. So there's many ways to create income in real estate, is my point. D is deductions. If you're an entrepreneur or a real estate investor, and by the way, when you are an investor, you by default are a business owner, and there's hundreds of tax deductions available to you as a investor / business owner. And real estate is just one of those things that are beautiful because you can write off so many things. Even when you're traveling on vacation, you're looking at property, that you can deduct those things. E stands for equity. We know what equity is. Equity is, when I have a home and I owe $100,000 on it, but it's worth $150,000. That $50,000 difference, that's my equity position, and that's great to buy homes that already have equity in them. So I'm buying a home right now. In fact, there's the cashier's check for the home. That is the money going to purchase the home, and I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but that is an $80,000 cashier's check that went to me today via this promissory note. So this note is a promise for me to pay back the investor that gave me 80,000 bucks. Okay? Why did he give me 80 grand? I'm buying a house without my money. I'm buying it for 70 grand. Why would he give me 80? I'm buying it for 70. So when I close on this house, which I'm doing tomorrow, I'm not going to send the title company 80 grand. I'm sending them 70. But here's the deal. This home has been purchased with equity already in it. And I'm going to take this $10,000 difference. I'm going to put it into the home after we close, and we're going to fix up the house and sell it for probably $140,000. So today the home needs some repairs. Not much. Today the home is worth probably $100,000. We're buying it for 70. When we're done with it, it'll be worth 140. We're creating appreciation. We're buying it with equity, and we're going to create more equity with it as we fix it, repair it, and then flip it. By the way, this is a small home up in Rupert, Idaho, that was found by a member of our Limitless real estate community, and I'm super excited to work with him, and he partnered with me to get this thing done. Well, the money's not mine, and it's not DeVere, who's the one that found the deal, because he lives up in the Burley, Idaho area. He found it. I looked at it with him. It's a great deal. We went to the seller. The seller agreed to sell it, and then DeVere and I decided to partner, and my role is to bring in the money and to make it all happen. And the money came from another person within our Limitless real estate community named Donald, and his wife. So the Smiths are providing the money, and DeVere found the deal, and we're buying it with equity. And when we sell it, we're going to create some massive profits, which is the L on this slide, which is leverage. What are we leveraging? You don't just have to leverage other people's credit or other people's money or other people's time. We also leverage other people's mortgages. We do lots of ways to leverage real estate that you do not have to do it. So just as an example, this deal in Idaho, I didn't find it and I didn't fund it, but I put it together and we're going to flip it and we're going to make profits and we're all going to get pieces of that profit. And we did it in this limitless real estate community. I mean, you cannot, it's powerful. You cannot do that with Strongbrook, per se. Strongbrook will go find you a property in Orlando, your normal PSA that we'll talk about, that you already know about, and then they'll just go find you a home that they went and they bought it and they fixed it up. They got property managers in place. There's now renters that are in the home, and they sell it to you all done. In this case, we're the one out there finding the deals, putting the deal together, making it happen, and creating even more profit thanks to Strongbrook's Limitless Real Estate Community, which we're talking about. And A also is for appreciation. So real estate, yes, it's the ideal investment. I just talked a little bit about leverage with this deal, so I'm going to probably skip this slide, but just want you to know that it doesn't have to be your money in real estate. $10,000, if that's all you had to invest, yes, you could put it in a savings account and make probably nothing today. A CD, still make nothing. You have it in an average mutual fund and pretty much make barely anything, 5-6%, and you'd thank yourself. And an above average stock pick, even if you were great and you picked a great stock and got a 20% return, you're not leveraging that $10,000. You're just investing that 10 grand and getting a return on that 10 grand. We're talking about real leverage. What if you did have $10,000 and you wanted to leverage it in real estate? This is something my daughter just did, Sasha, with $10,000 on the dot. It was $10,500, and she had it and put it into a deal that is, they're buying that deal for $105,000. She put in $10,500, 10% of the purchase price, to leverage it, and other people are funding the rest of it. Other people. So Sasha's leveraging other people's money by just using her 10 grand. Well, in this example on the screen, it's a $200,000 purchase price. What if you had $10,000 to invest and you went and got a home that was $200,000? You only put $10,000 down on that home. What are you leveraging? You're leveraging $190,000 because you're going to go to the bank and get a traditional loan. Well, the average home in America appreciates 6.34%. I know there's fluctuations, and I know there's ups and there's downs and there's corrections, but let's just think on 6.34% for this example, one home, 1 year. The profit on that, if you did do that and your $200,000 home grew 6.34%, that's not your $10,000 growing 6.34%. That's $200,000 on a home growing 6.34%. So your profit on your $10,000, you get if you were to sell the home and actually get your money back, you would get an additional $12,630. In other words, a return on your $10,000 would be 127%. That is the power of leverage with money. I do leverage of other people's money. I do leverage of other people's credit. I do leverage of other people's skills and know-how. We teach you how to do that in the Limitless Real Estate community. So there's definite ways to use leveraging. No money and no credit, and you can along the way create massive wealth and passive wealth. And I just want to touch on that real quick just to kind of whet your appetite. What is massive wealth versus passive wealth? Well, massive, I look at that as like you flip a house and you make $20,000. Passive wealth or passive income, I look at them at the I don't mean to say wealth, I mean to say income. Massive income, flip a house, make 20 grand. Wholesale a house, make 10,000, make 5,000. Just comes in quick deals. Passive income is more like you buy a home and you hold it and you get the monthly cash flow. Or you lease a home with an option to buy. Or you buy a home subject to someone's existing mortgage and have a person move into that home and they rent it from you and you get mailbox money. Every month you get cash flow. Two strategies. I use both of them. We teach you in the Limitless Real Estate community how to do it and to do it now and to be successful in it. So just as an example, this is a $31,000 check that I received. Actually, this is a few months ago now. This was back in April. But the point is, the house that you can see behind me, we never got a loan to buy that house. We never paid the seller a penny to buy that house. But the seller did want to move. They needed to move to Oregon. This home was in Orem, Utah. And we worked a deal with them where I said, how about I pay you what you want. I just pay you in a year or two. In the meantime, I'm going to go in and fix your house up and make it prettier, and I might rent it. Maybe I'll even live in it, but whatever I do, I'm going to take care of your payments so you won't have anything to worry about. You want $190,000 for it? I'm going to give it to you. Your house payment's $1,200 a month? I'll take care of it. Let me go in and fix it up. I'll make your payments for you, and after I fix it up, I'm going to sell it maybe in a year after I've been renting it or living in it, which I did live in this with my family for 2.5 years. And then when we go to sell it, how about whatever we sell it for, you get the first 190 just like you want now. We'll get the money back that we put into it after when we move in and fix it up, and anything over that amount we'll split 50-50. And that was the deal we made with them. So they moved to Portland, Oregon. We moved into the home. Well, not quite. We fixed it up for about 3 weeks, and then we moved into the home. But we put $20,000 into that house. It was about $18,000 something rather. My point is, after living in it for 2.5 years and just making their $1,200 payment, which became our mortgage payment or our rent payment. See, I didn't get a loan to do this house. They left their loan in place, and I just started making their payment for them. You could do that right now with anyone that has a mortgage. At the end of the day, they wanted their 190. They just got their 190 2.5 years later. They were happy. They were in Oregon for 2.5 years. But the day finally came when we decided we're going to sell it and move out of it. And our contract with this family was 3 years. And we did this in 24 months or 30 months, so 2.5 years. And when we sold the home, we sold it for $240,000. So they got their first 190. We got the next about 20,000. And after that, it was a 210 point. Between 210 and 240, we split it, that $30,000 spread. So this family that let us take over their payments and were very happy about it, they didn't get 191. They got an additional 15,000 above 191. They just didn't get it for a couple years. In the meantime, they were happy carrying on with their life. We teach you how to do that. These are strategies you can do now. This is what I've been doing for 10 years, going on 15 years now, actually. So how do I do it? How can you do it? The basically really want to share with you is you just need to think, how can I create win-win-win scenarios? How can I do that while I use creative real estate investing as my strategy? Okay, I call it the KLT factor. How in the world can you go talk to someone who's selling their home, and in one visit, the one visit you go meet them, you can convince them to sell you their home on your terms, like paying them later, like taking over their payments, giving them what they want, but just delaying when they get it. In the meantime, you can take over their payments. How can you do that in one visit? I've been able to do it in one visit. I teach people how to do it in one visit, and it's not just me teaching. I don't want to make it sound like I'm the big teacher, because we bring other people in that are great investors that teach these types of strategies. But my point is, just for the purposes of this webinar, to kind of open your mind to possibilities as an investor, how do you create win-win relationships with people you didn't know before? You're on KSL.com or Craigslist, and you find an ad, and it's someone selling a home, and they're motivated. They need to go for whatever reason. How can you go in there and do it creatively without getting a loan and without needing a bank? That's what we talk about. And to do that, you need, and here's a little nugget for you to have, you need what I call the KLT factor. If you could live your life by the KLT factor, I don't care what it is you're doing, whether it's real estate or the job you have or being a father or a mother, an entrepreneur, whatever you do, if you just know the value of the KLT factor, it will be a blessing to you in your life, I promise you. So what is the KLT factor? Well, it's my way of how can someone buy from you? How do you get someone to marry you, for example? I mean, think about it. If you're a man and you see this beautiful woman like I did 28 years ago, and I'm like, holy cow, I would marry that girl. If I walked up to my wife 28 years ago, the first day I met her, and just walked up and planted a kiss on her lips and said, will you marry me? Do you think I would even get the words will you out before I would have been smacked down? No, she doesn't know me. I can just walk up there and do it. But how do you get someone to go, I will marry you, afterwards? After they KLT, after you KLT them, that's how, and I'll talk about that now. So what is the KLT factor? Well, the K stands for no. You've got to be known. So as an investor, you've got to get the word out so people know that you are an investor. If you're single, you've got to get the word out that people know you're single. So whatever it is, think of the same terms. I'm going to just talk about the investor term. 6:25. Okay, we're doing good on time. So people have got to know you. So if you're an investor, you might put ads out on Craigslist, or you'll talk to people in your community. You'll go talk to real estate agents, say, I'm an investor, I'm looking to buy houses. If you have a problem that you're listing and it's like, almost embarrassing to list a house because it's got problems, I'm your buyer. I'm an investor. I network with other investors, so bring me deals, and I would love to buy your deals. You got to get that out there. So that's just one aspect. The K is to be known. Well, just because someone knows you, do they want to do business with you? No, not necessarily. I mean, think of it, the election that just happened. People know Donald, but do they want him to be president? People know Hillary. Do they want her to be president? People know all those Republicans that ran. Do they want them to be president? No, they're known. Do you know people that you just don't like? I know lots of people I don't like. Do people know you and not like you? Probably. I'm sure there's people that know me and don't like me, and that's okay. But that's because I know that there's two more letters with this little deal. Knowing you is one thing. Now the L stands for liking you. Once they know you, you need to help them like you. How do you get people to like you as an investor? Yes, I can call you up because you have an ad, or I can knock on your door because it says the home looks vacant. I might go talk to a neighbor and find out who owns the house next door that's vacant. And that neighbor may give me that phone number, if they know it, of the vacant house person, because I show up and they can get to know me and like me because I do something, and that's called give them something of value. When you give people something of value, they tend to like you. So as an investor, the biggest thing I can do to help people like me is listen to them. Listen to their needs. Because if you're a listener, you're already way ahead of the average investor who's there to talk and talk and talk themselves in and out of deals in the same sentence sometimes. So you need to be known and you need to be liked. But once you're liked, what does the T stand for? Once they like you, then they tend to trust you. They know you, they like you, and now they trust you. When you're known, you're liked, and you're trusted, now people can do business with you. That's the KLT factor. Gain people's trust. As you gain that trust, you'll be able to then have an opportunity to do business with them and provide them with a win-win situation to help you get that deal, to help you help them so they can move on in their life, etc. So this slide is just for value for you. So I want you to like me, right? So you know me, I'm Gary Norris. Now I want you to like me, okay? Because I'm going to ask you to do something in a minute. I want your trust on that. All right, I'm doing the KLT factor on you right now. I don't want to marry you though. So this is for value. Things to look for to determine if a home is worth pursuing. People ask me this all the time. Gary, how do I know a deal is a deal? What do I look for? Do I just drive down the road and see a for sale sign? Is that a deal? How do you know a deal is a deal? Well, this is just some information for you. There's usually some type of problem. We're problem solvers in real estate. Real estate is a people business, not a house business. So we have relationships with people. We need to develop relationships with people, and then we can help solve problems. Maybe they owe more on their home than it's worth. Maybe the home is damaged. This home that we're buying up in Idaho with this check, vacant home. It's been vacant for 2 years. The owner's still alive. He's just in declining health, and the two kids have been sitting on this home. They finally decided it's time to sell it and putting dad in more of a long-term care facility, and they're trying to just get it to go away. Well, as a vacant home for 2 years, it's got mice all over in that home. There's probably, we'll find out in about a week when we go in there and take care of them, but there's a mouse problem, and there's mice poop all over in the home. Other than that, the home's pretty solid. It just looks really scary, okay? And it's a vacant home. So here we just provide solutions to problems. So my point is, it could be a damaged home, death, divorce, job transfer, family emergency, a crime scene, etc. Foreclosures are a good opportunity. Short sales, people that owe more on their home than the home is worth. and they're in a financial hardship and they need to sell it. It's an opportunity for investors. You could go in there and bring their payments current and then take over the payments as they move out and move on, and you can buy the home subject to the existing financing, or you can negotiate with the bank to agree to accept an offer lower or short of what is owed on the home. Opportunities for you and to do if you can bring a solution to a problem. Vacant homes, abandoned homes, rundown homes, homes that may not even be for sale. You just can tell they're abandoned. Go talk to the neighbors, go find out who owns that home and call that person. Find out if you can help, give them a solution. Say, I'm looking to buy that house if it's available. Is it available? It's a great way to find properties. Homes that are for rent, you can call, you can get on Craigslist or KSL.com, which is popular in Utah, and go to the homes for rent. Rentler.com is another good one. And call landlords who have homes for rent and ask them, hey, if I was to rent your home, are you interested in doing like a long year, maybe 1 or 2 year commitment on a rental? And if they say yes, you can say, if I was to pay the rent on time over a 2 year period, would you consider selling me the home afterwards? And find out what they say. If they say yes, you're talking to potentially a very motivated landlord. Maybe they don't want to be a landlord anymore. If they can think, wow, I can rent it to you and you're going to pay me on time for a couple of years and then buy it from me, and you can guarantee it, and I can show you how, that's potentially a great deal. You're solving a problem. So just calling people is a great thing to do on the for sale by owners and the for rents by landlords. And then one strategy that Strombrick is very strong on, and that is keeping your investments at the median value of homes and below. So we don't go for the big mansions on the hill, and we don't go into the scary neighborhoods, for example. We go where 70% of the buyers and sellers are, and that is median value and below, and bought at a discount with equity. Okay, so how do you turn pain into profit? How do you find someone with a problem and bring them a solution? Okay, just something to think about this slide. I just always like telling people you just need to be a good question asker and a very good listener. And you do it by asking questions and listening carefully. And you want to find common ground, discover their needs, get information, give information. That's why you're meeting with them, to show them what you can do to hopefully bring them a solution to their problem. All right? There's 2 types of questions you may ask. Kind of speeding on this, I'm sorry about that, but there's 2 types of questions that you can ask. One are the open-ended questions and that start a conversation, and 2 is the discovery questions that kind of continue the conversation, okay? So a great open dialogue question would be, tell me about your situation. It's probably my favorite thing to ask a homeowner. When I go into their home, when I'm on the phone talking to them, I don't say, well, how much are you selling your house for? I never say that first. I say, tell me about your situation, and I listen. And I listen to find out if they're motivated. There's clues which we can help train you on, but you need to do that and find out. And then you can ask, well, why are you selling, or why are you renting, or why are you buying, etc. And what can you do? If you don't get everything you want, a good follow-up question would be, what can you tell me more about? What can you tell me about? And then you can fill in the blank and ask further questions. The point is, we want to help people open up a dialogue with you as the investor. This is how they get to like you, remember, okay? And then there's further discovery questions, and that is, I love asking this question too. Tell me about your situation, and they tell you about everything, and they add a lot of story into it, and then a good follow-up question would be, is there anything else I should know about that? Is there anything else I should know? And just listen. Because they usually have more, and now they're in a more of an opportunity to share more. And the more you can do that, the more they do like you, because you are listening, and you can give them maybe some solutions, and that's how you build that trust up that I've been talking about, okay? Another good question is, what's the least amount you can take and still make this deal work? It's a good question. What's the least amount you can take and still make this deal work? Or another question would be, what if I gave you exactly what you're asking, but I need to do it on my terms? Can we talk about what my terms may look like? It's also a great one to ask, okay? And for example, anyway, you can see it there. I want to move on, but we want to ask questions. We want to build value by getting them to like you and trust you. And you cannot provide a solution to something if you don't understand what their problem is. So it's really important to be able to ask these questions, okay? And then finally, I guess I could say be comfortable with silence. Use silence as a way to get more information. Tell me a little bit more about that, and then be quiet. And wait for them to reply. Now, if you're uncomfortable using silence, you can always just ask the question why. You know, do the why thing. Or I like this one too. Well, if you were me, what would you suggest? If you were me, what would you suggest? What we're really trying to do is find out if there's any other needs that need to be met for this homeowner for us to kind of bring them a solution that may be their best fit. So I just wanted to share these things with you to help you know that you as an investor, you can go out there and build value in yourself, provide value to other people, and you will then create all the business you could ever want because you're someone who goes out there with the heart of a problem solver, not the heart of I'm looking for a deal that I can make $20,000 on. Okay? So I know, for example, I got a deal that I know I can make $20,000 on, but my bigger purpose became, as I was pondering this one day, this was about a month ago, is who's this family that's supposed to move into this home that I'm flipping, I'm repairing to flip? And it just hit me the other day. It was about a month ago, it hit me. I'm like, I don't know. It's Gary, instead of just thinking about the maximizing the value by doing windows and carpet and this cheap and quick and inexpensive but quality, who's the buyer? Who's it going to be that's going to come to this home? Think about that for a minute. And as I did that, it really made me ponder. It made me ponder to a point where I actually stopped the flipping process on this particular house. And I was just asking and sensing, okay, the family that needs to move into this home will present itself. I need to be ready to accept that family. It was just a weird moment for me, but it helped me realize that the reason I'm in this business is to help people and to, yes, make money, obviously, but to help people along the way. And it turns out we did find a family that needed this home, and they moved into the home on November 7th, so just a short time ago. And truth be told, when it's all said and done, I'll make my $20,000, but I'm going to make it down the road. In the meantime, I'm going to make a few $100s a month. I decided not to flip this house, and we were able to move this family in that was in a dire need. Actually, a homeless military veteran who has cancer that was kicked out of their home. Another story, but my point is, I was able to listen to maybe a higher power that said you need to think about who needs this home. What was really interesting, I just learned this last week, the lady, the wife, she told me that for a year, all of this year, 2016, they lived about 80 miles away. This home was in Idaho Falls. They lived 80 miles outside of Idaho Falls. But because her husband had cancer, they had to come to Idaho Falls 55 times this year for medical treatment. And she said, every time we came to Idaho Falls, which is 55 times in 10 months is a lot, we would drive by this house and I would see this home and I could tell it was vacant and I just felt like this is where we needed to live. And when your friend JB, my real estate agent, told us about this home, that we could maybe get into it without even getting a mortgage because we can't qualify for one, and we're losing a home to foreclosure that did get foreclosed on. But when we found out that we could move into this home, in Idaho Falls, when she drove us here and we saw it was this home, the 55 times I saw, I couldn't even believe it. She just told me this last week. I couldn't believe it. And my point is, we do not know who we're here to serve. And yes, we'll make money. I just didn't make it now. I'm going to make it down the road. Had to do a few tweaking around things, and sometimes you just need to do that. And as an investor, it's important. We teach you kind of how to have exit strategies, right? Not just one, but multiple strategies on how you can exit out of a deal and still turn a profit while you're doing some good. And that was just a really fun thing for me to experience as a recent example. So what we have is I want to take about another maybe 10 minutes and just share with you what this real estate community is, the Limitless real estate community, and we'll be done, okay? We'll open it up to some questions if you want, and we'll be able to move forward. So what is the Limitless Real Estate Community, and why is that something that you as a PSA holder with Strombrick should be interested in, okay? So the Limitless Real Estate Community, by the way, it's a growing community of real estate investors who help and support each other to succeed. Bottom line, everyone in the real estate community, they already know Strombrick or they know Limitless. And Matt, PSA holders like yourself, I know you know Strombrick, and you probably do know Limitless, and if you don't yet, maybe you should get to know them. But this is a growing community where we help each other support and succeed. We offer training, coaching, and education on creative real estate investing techniques and practices. That is what the community is. So that's what it is. Who's this community designed for? Okay, it's designed for people that are maybe just beginning their real estate investing journey. It's also designed for people who maybe they've gone through a financial reset and they're restarting their path. That was my journey about 7 years ago. So I was going through a major financial reset and needed to restart my path. Fortunately, I had investing skills that I can help to propel me to get recovered faster, and that's the whole purpose of this community. It's perfect for those people. This is great for people who have little money and little credit, because I'm here to tell you, you don't need any money and any credit if you don't have any. You can do it without it. You can partner with people who have $500 to put down on a house. You can sometimes put down $10 on a house to get it under contract. So there are ways to do this. That's my point. A lot of people join the Limitless Real Estate community because they're curious. And eventually, and sometimes and oftentimes those that are curious, they get educated, they start learning, they get in, become a part of the community, and the curious become serious, and the serious get deals done, and they can create some massive results. Others like us because we have continuous training. We're always training. We're always teaching. And of course, lastly, you can create both massive and passive income by learning how to creatively do real estate investing techniques and strategies. So that's who the program's for. Here's the details. So what do you get, okay? What do you get with the Limitless Real Estate community? Well, we have monthly community events to train, to coach, to network, to do deals. We go on field trips to actual deals that are in process. We actually just went on a field trip to Home Depot. I did a flipping field trip. It was actually a lot of fun. We do this once a month. We get together, we do a monthly breakthrough training, and we go from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We record it. We actually stream it live, so if you can't be in our office, you can watch it live. Then we record it and archive it, and we put it on our Facebook page, which I'll talk about in a minute. We have weekly conference calls. We do these every Tuesday at noon. We had it. Our last conference call, we talked about how to, last conference call a week ago, we talked about how strategies in mobile home investing, trailers in trailer parks, literally, and how you can make money doing trailer home investing with hardly any money, $100, and how you can make hundreds of dollars a month off that, and thousands of dollars in chunks by owning trailer houses. And then that was last week's call. On this week's call, we were celebrating the success of some of our members of the community who put together a deal, and there was, I think, 5 people in the community got together and got one deal done. We talked about that. So our weekly calls, we do training as well as open it up to wants and needs and deal sharing. And it's super awesome. And it's an hour long. We record the calls, and we put the recorded calls up onto the Facebook page as well for the community members. And that's what we do. That's the next point, is we have an exclusive closed Facebook community where we network and we share ideas, we share deals, wants and needs, and we do trading on it. And that's where we host a lot of our, pretty much everything that happens in the Limitless Real Estate community is focused and geared around the big community of our Facebook page. It's a closed group. You have to be a member of the community to get access to it. So you as a PSA holder, we're going to give you an invitation to come and play and get in this Facebook group. So no matter where you live, you can participate. Okay, it's really important to us to give this type of access. And then we also give you more access to accelerated real estate investor trainings. Every quarter we take 3 whole days and we go deep into training, 3 days every quarter. Our next 3-day training is January 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we invite you to be there. We want you to be there, either in person or watching on the live stream. So if you're a MAP PSA holder, there's actually some really neat bonuses that we give you, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just want to show you this screen that shows a few of the success results that we've had with some of our community members. So, pardon me, real quickly, Mike Crouch and Houston Hope, they live in Texas, and they actually did a full rehab on this. Their fix and flip turned into a full rehab. They used no money of their own, no credit of their own, and they got a deal that made $70,000 in profit. And this was a few months ago. This is going back about 5 months when they started putting that together. And now today, they're doing multiple deals using several people in our community that are partnering up with some money and resources, and they're doing deals in Louisiana and Texas. They're clear in Texas, yet they're part of this community, and that's why I tell people you don't have to be in Utah to be part of the community and have success, okay? Chevelle, she's an awesome young lady. She's an awesome young lady that was new. She's 22 or 3 years old, new as an investor. She was able to get $12,000 cash up front by a family to put down as a lease with an option to buy on a home that she already owned. She was living in it. She moved out of that home into another home and had a family move in, gave her $12,000 upfront, non-refundable, while she rents to own a home to them, and she makes cash flow every month on that. She took the $12,000 and she went and found another seller in her town that was able to do some type of seller financing, so she didn't need to get a bank loan to upgrade her own home she lives in. She kept her home, lease optioned it to someone, took the $12,000 and went to another person who was willing to finance a house for her without a bank, and she upgraded her lifestyle and became an investor at the same time. No loans, no bank qualifying, 20-something years old, newly married with a small baby. So it's just amazing that she was able to do that. James Bell, another great example. He's a Provo, Orem, Utah guy. He found a condo, put it under contract, was able to get a $3,000 assignment for it. Our friends up in Idaho, the Vances, Jolene and Kirk, they did a deal. They just bird dogged up a deal. They just found the deal, and they said, hey, here's the deal. If anyone wants it, what's it worth to you? I bought that deal. In fact, that's the deal I bought that I just put this family into last week that drove by it 55 times. But the Vances, I gave them $881 for the deal as a bird dog fee. And then I went in there to do the flip. And didn't use my money, by the way. I used another person's money in our community to do the deal. And so anyways, we're making great win-wins. These are just some of the results we're having. So what does this mean for you guys? You're a MAP PSA holder. You're part of Strawbrick. You know Strawbrick. We need to give you access to this program. We want you to have unlimited access to the Done For You Fulfillment Program. That's a huge announcement I just made. You bought your MAP PSA so that at some point you could access the Done For You program. You probably paid up to $16,000 to get access to that, because that's what it sells for right now. An unlimited PSA is 16 grand. Maybe you're someone that's owned a MAP PSA for several years, back when the price for a unlimited PSA was $12,000. And you always knew that, wow, I got my MAP PSA, though at some point I can just pay the difference and get in and have access to the Done For You Fulfillment Program. Well, we want to give it to you for free. No upgrade to get into that. It just comes with this Limitless real estate community, okay? We want to give you total access to the entire team of Strawbrick professionals, total access to the best properties in the hottest market. In other words, we're going to give you a free unlimited PSA for free, okay? That's a $16,000 value. That's what it sells for right now. You as a MAP holder, you've been waiting for the opportunity to get access to that. We're going to give it to you for free, and here's how it would work, okay? So the Limitless real estate community, and I don't want this slide to scare you. I just want to prepare you for the next slide, okay? It gets a lot better. Just want to make sure you know that. The Limitless real estate community is a $25,000 program. There are no annual renewals. It's unlimited access to both the creative real estate strategies, training, and education that I've been talking about for the last 45 minutes, and unlimited access to the Done For You PSA that you've been looking for since you've been a MAP PSA holder. So While that program does sell for $25,000, the Limitless Real Estate Community, what will your investment be as a MAP PSA holder? What do you get to access this program for? I'm here to tell you that you get a deal, okay? You do, you get a great deal. So how much is a program? Well, it's not $25,000 for you. MAP PSA holders only pay $8,000. That's right. You upgrade into the Limitless Real Estate Community for $8,000. But you need to remember something, okay? And this is really important. You bought your MAP PSA, you paid $500 or $499, and you paid $99 a month for that access. Well, what do you get with that? You have credits, right? You pay $499 and $99 a month. Every time you've done that, you're building credits. Okay, so it's not $25,000, and frankly, for you as a MAP holder, it's really not $8,000 because you have credits that you've been accruing. So we need to figure out what your credits are and subtract it from the $8,000 price point that you have. Okay, so really, those dollars have been accruing as credits, and you can apply it to this entire thing. So for example, if you paid $499 for your MAP and you made 20 payments of $99 a month, you would have built up a credit of $2,479. That's 20 at $99 a month and $499. So basically what I'm trying to say, if you've been on the MAP program for 20 months, you don't pay $8,000, you pay $2,500 less than that, roughly. Your purchase price would be $5,521. I know for a fact that one of our friends that has a MAP PSA that also is part of the Limitless program, and they've been paying their $99 into several different programs, he was able to upgrade his MAP PSA for $1,500. Unlimited access to a Strawbrick PSA and unlimited access to the Done For You or the Creative Real Estate Investing Community with the Limitless Real Estate Investing Program. So I don't know what your points are. We need to figure that out. And here's how we can do it, okay? How do you find out how many credits you have? Well, maybe you're thinking, what if I never paid my $99 every month? Am I out? No, you're good. So you need to send an email to, on the screen, Sasha@strongbrook.com. You can send an email to Sasha@strongbrook.com and say, hey, I have a MAP PSA. I'm interested in the real estate community, the Limitless Real Estate Community. I need to know what points I have so I can have a consultation and get into this thing if I want to, okay? So email Sasha@strongbrook.com, find out what your credits are, and realize that even if you haven't been paying your $99, some people, they don't pay it for a few months, or their card expires, and a couple months later they remember they need to compute it or get it in the system. So we just need to find out, how much time do you have to upgrade is the next question, okay? So this deal, we actually did this about 60 days ago. We opened this up to the whole MAP PSA community. And when we did, we had a handful of people immediately upgrade. And then over the course of the last 60 days, many, many more people were able to upgrade. And they were able to figure out what their discount credits were, and they joined the community. And this is actually pretty dang cool. This right here, this $80,000 check, came from a MAP PSA holder. That's who I partnered with. I partnered with someone that was a MAP holder that 60 days ago joined this community from our last webinar, and that's who just gave me the 80 grand. He did not know something. He's been a MAP PSA holder for over, I think, 2 years. What he didn't realize when he came to our training and we started talking about how you can invest in real estate using IRAs, retirement plans, maybe not even your retirement plan, someone else's, a light went off in his head. He's like, I have access to 401k money. I have access to retirement plan money. And he was able to go through the process of getting it set up to the right administrator that would allow him to maybe not just do stocks and bonds, but to do other things like real estate. And so this $80,000 came from a retirement plan that he had access to or knew the person. And he became my partner today on this home that we're buying tomorrow in Rupert, Idaho. And so the value of what you're going to learn is enormous. And hopefully because of that, because of examples like Donald and his wife, that is why we're opening this up again until the end of the year, the end of December. So if you're a MAP PSA holder, we want you to come and play with us and really open up your mind to the possibility of not just the done-for-you model that you're going to get free access to, but the creative model, how you can do real estate without using your money or your credit and do it in a way that you can create real dollars right now, not in the future. There's no more of this someday I'm going to be an investor. It's I can be an investor now. That's what I want you to be thinking, because that's really literally what you can do. And Donald was just one example of that. So my call to action to you is simply, is the Limitless Real Estate community right for you? I like to think that it is, but that's a question for you to answer. And as a MAP PSA holder, we want to welcome you and give you an opportunity to come and play with us on this high level, and not for 25,000 bucks. I want to let you do it for 8,000 minus your credits. So you cannot just get, and by the way, you get your full unlimited PSA as well as the full unlimited creative real estate investing training and mentoring and teaching, and full access to the real estate community with the Facebook group and everything for both done for you and learn to do it on yourself, by yourself creatively and with community, a family of like-minded investors in a community. So basically the ball's in your court. We want you to send an email to sasha@strongbrook.com. Say, I want to get into this. I just want to see what my options look like. You know, maybe we got to figure out a few ways to help you get some financing in place or something. We want to give you an opportunity to get in and get rolling. 2017 is going to be such a great year for real estate. I can't wait for it. I hope you can't wait for it. The year is coming to an end. It's the best Christmas present I can imagine you giving yourself and your family, and that is access to this program that can open up your world to possibilities of creating real income right now. So that is my call to you. That is my call of action. If I'm selling you anything, I'm selling you on an idea to email Sasha@Strongbrook and say, I want to come play. What's it going to look like? And then we'll have Sasha get you facilitated with the right person at the Strongbrook office that can tell you what your credits are. She can help set you up with one of the pathfinders or the strategists to help get you enrolled in the program so it can be a smooth transition. And with that, I'm really done. I have nothing to say. I'm out. And I actually did it in 1 hour. So with that, I want to open up the webinar if there's anyone that has some questions, anything like that, and maybe they want to ask something. And I don't know about you, Kent, of course, if you're available, but if someone has some questions they want to come on air and ask, we can make that happen. And if not, we can.
I just had that in the chat. So if you didn't see my chat message, if you want me to unmute you, you can either type in the chat to unmute you or just raise your hand. And those you can both do on the side webinar there.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, if there's anyone that wants to, that'd be great. And Ken, I can apologize to you now for throwing you under the bus an hour ago. You really are a good guy.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're a good man.
All right. I'm not seeing any questions out here, Gary. So
okay.
Again, let's have them email Sasha@strongbrook.com. And if there are any other MAP PSAs in your network or people that missed this, let them know to check their email tomorrow. We're going to send out this replay and share it with them as well.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you, Ken. You guys have a great one and have a very happy Thanksgiving that's coming up, and a Merry Christmas.